Hey Hebrew fans, this is Todd. So today I'm going to talk about how to fix a loose shoulder joint. His joint right here in his shoulder is a little bit loose, and this works for He-Man Classic figures as well. So first thing we have to do is remove the actual arm itself. So to do this, we're going to heat it up, and while that's heating up, we'll talk about the Thundercats sword that came with this figure. So I got my cup of hot water, going to try it again. This time I added a lid to keep the water warm. We'll see if that helps or not. And we'll just stick Lion-O in there. Let's pull his head off too. There we go. We'll just heat that arm right up and see if we can't get that to pop off easily. Alright, so while that's heating up, let's go ahead and talk about the Thundercats sword. So somebody posted in the comments that the sword is missing the ear and the neck. And so I was looking at it, and it does look like a snake because it's missing those parts. I imagine it's supposed to have a little white line right here and a little white line up there where the ear is to kind of separate those particular stuff on the symbols. You'll notice it does have it on the belt though. I imagine it might be kind of hard on this small of a surface to get that kind of detail on here. I'm not sure. I think it's what they were talking about, but I'm not positive. So, for those that have not seen my video lately, I do have a video on how to make this guy here. Pretty cool. And he's basically a 2000X version for Origins. So kind of a fun custom figure to make. So make sure you check out that video. And let's check on our water and see if he is done heating up enough yet to pull off that bicep. Usually I wait a little bit longer, but I know you guys are sitting here watching on video. Yep, and it is. I'm just going to go and drop this in here so it's ready to reapply later. So now that I have his arm off, I'm going to use an O-ring like this one right here. You can go to he-bro.com to find out the different size O-rings to use. And you can see right up inside there is a small little gap where his shoulder meets the torso. And that's what we're going to fill with this O-ring. So the first thing you want to do is stretch out the O-ring. I'm just going to take and stretch this out. And it's not the same one that's used inside his leg. It's a little different size than that one. So those who've seen that video, this is actually a larger one than that. And again, it will be either in the first class that I made. It has the O-ring chart. It tells you which one to use for the shoulder fix. Or you can go to he-bro.com and see that list of O-rings. So you want to stretch it out really well so it doesn't snap on you. Once you get it stretched out really well, you then want to place it onto the shoulder. And then just roll it up and over. And it is kind of a tight fit because we're going a long ways on this shoulder, and just go really slow so you don't snap the O-ring. Oop. I found it. Let's try that again. Really slow. Don't let it fall back. It does have a long ways to stretch to get around that shoulder. There we go. I'm past the halfway point. Now just work it around into that seam. And we'll just tuck right inside there so it'll be invisible once you get it done. And there we go. And now I could feel some friction in there. And it's set. There you go. So the next questions people asked me was, how is his ab crunch? His ab crunch feels a little loose at first, but because it's ratcheted, it's not so bad. Now, if you do have a really loose ab crunch, what you want to do is you want to take like something like this stretchy string, this stretch magic, and you want to work it into the side, just like you're flossing your teeth. Pull it super tight to stretch it thin, and then work it up the seam and you're going to work it up and around and back on the other side, and then eventually you'll have it across. And then if you want, you can tie it, but you don't have to, depending on the string and how it works, and that will tighten up that area right in there. I would not try to use super glue in this area because sometimes there's too much of a gap to use super glue. Because you'll see some figures that have it, that actually have an issue with that it will be too loose of an area for the super glue to do any good. All right, let's go ahead and reattach his bicep. There we go. And while I have him out, I might do this side too. This side seems to be a little loose as well. Get them both done at the same time. So let's go ahead and pop his head off and do the other side too while I'm at it. We'll just stick this guy back in the hot water over here. Let me go ahead and get my O-ring. So what I have is I have a whole assortment of O-rings. So I'm ready on the go with all kinds of stuff. And I find this is really helpful because you don't know what you're going to come across. Like this one I have labeled boots, so I know those are for the boots. And it's these ones right here. There we go. Are the ones I use for the shoulders. And they're slightly bigger than the boots. I don't have the number on the top of my head right now. But again, if you go to he-bro.com, you can find out the number. And you can see they're a little bigger than the boot ones. So you can see the size difference. And again, you'll find it on he-bro.com. About halfway down the page. So keep scrolling to get about halfway. And then of course you want to stretch this out. Just keep rotating as you stretch it. All right, let's go and pull off that other arm. And I'll toss it back in the hot water for reapplication. And let's go ahead and slide this up and over. Remember, go slow, so if it needs to stretch anymore, it won't just snap on you. Urgh. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. I would suggest doing one arm at a time so you don't accidentally do the same arm twice. That would be really bad. It'd be very hard to cut these off once they're in here. See if we can't use these tools to help get it over easier. Nope, they're no help. All right, let's go and stretch this out again. go. Now it's more stretch. It's much easier to get over it. And get it up and over into the shoulder. There we go. Much better. Yeah. All right. That really bones me out. You can see how that looks right there. It's actually like it's actually pushing it out. Not sure what happened there when they manufactured it. Now his shoulders are much tighter. Without him flopping no more. And there you go. That's how you do the shoulder fix. Alright you guys, thanks for watching. I will see you next video.